Okay. Hi, this is Jan Ozer. I'm with Peter Alexander from Harmonic. He's the Chief Marketing Officer of the California-based company, and we're here to talk about cloud encoding. So, Peter, I understand you just made a few announcements about cloud encoding. Could you tell me what you announced?
Well, so at NAB, and we've been talking about it since then, we announced a partnership with Encoding.com for our carbon encoding platform to be used within their platform. But also we've been talking a lot about other cloud services that are carbon-based as well, including the cloud service offered by Tata and our offering on Amazon AWS, which also offers access to carbon.
Okay, so why did you decide to offer it through multiple partners like Encoding.com and Tata?
Well, we know that our customers want to go to different places wherever they are in the world, or the kinds of specific services and workflows they're looking for. So it made the most sense to give our customers the maximum amount of flexibility, and by partnering with the various cloud offerings, we're able to do that.
Okay. So how do people access your product? If I want to encode with the Harmonic Cloud Encoder, how do I do that?
Sure. Well, you can go to Amazon and buy access to AWS, or you can go to Tata and sign up for a service with them, software as a service, on a pay-per-use basis. Or with Encoding.com on a pay-per-use basis also. Now, and then to use the service, let's stick with Encoding.com as that's the most recent announcement. You simply go to their web UI and access the service using that workflow. Or you can access it through WFS or the workflow system that you may have on your own premise already. And they also support that workflow. So it's very much a familiar interface if you know our environment, or a familiar interface if you know theirs.
Okay, so how does that work? I mean, I've used workflow systems before. I mean, you're just a different encoder? Is that how it would be configured?
Yes, exactly. If you're in their environment, you're just a different encoder. If you have an on-premise WFS of your own, where you have your own encoding farm and you're bursting into Encoding.com, then their instances show up as virtualized instances that you burst into if you go beyond your own capacity. So it's essentially completely seamless.
Can I access these, I guess the same presets, they work in any of the environments?
That's right. All of the presets that you have established or are within the tool are available in both environments. And
what about the workflows? So can I access some of your advanced quality control checks in the workflow system while encoding, either at Encoding.com or in your own cloud offering?
Absolutely. It's completely seamless. It's as if the Encoding.com offering was on your own premise. You're just abstracting it into the cloud.
Okay, so when I encode with you, what's the scalability of the offering? If I have 1,000 files to encode, how do you handle that? Are you limiting me to one machine, or are you scaling behind the scenes, or how are you dealing with that?
Well, so it depends on how you want to pay for it and how long you want it to take. You have the option of serially putting your files through a single encoder, a few encoders, or maximizing breadth across the cloud offering. They can turn up or turn down as many instances as you feel you need according to what you want to spend. The beauty of the architecture and the way we put the technology together is fully virtualized. So you can scale to very large farms of encoders or maintain very small ones.
What's the interface for that? Because Encoding.com doesn't really do that. Encoding.com, you load as many files as you want, and they're in charge of encoding as quickly as possible. So what is the...
Right. If you want to do that, then that's through WFS, and we can show you how that works in the demo that I know we're setting up for you.
Okay. in the product that you're offering, and so again, could you be a bit more clear? If I have WFS on my desktop now, and I want to access the Harmonic Cloud Encoding offering, how do I do that?
Right. Well, again, you link through WFS into encoding.com. There's a special way we set that up. Again, we'll show you that in the demo. But again, it appears essentially seamless.
Okay. And I was asking about your offering, not encoding.com. So I'm remembering that I got into the cloud and was able to play around with your product offering on Amazon. Are you offering it like
right.
as a... So talk about that product.
Yeah, so in that case, it's just like it's our product, but that's sitting on Amazon, and that's more of a use of individual instances. So, but the interface is the AWS interface followed by the way you set up Carbon.
Okay. And is there a minimum pricing commitment? How do you buy that?
No. The beauty of all these systems is you're essentially using the software and the CPU cycles on demand. So with Amazon, you pay to access, whereas with encoding.com, with Tata, you're using pay per use, essentially.
Okay. So tell us what you're seeing from your customers. So how many of your customers are, they've obviously been encoding on-premise for a while now. How many of them are starting to move to the cloud?
Well, I think all of them are looking at how they might use cloud services. I think without exception. I think for some of them, they may move to the cloud. For others, they may extend to the cloud, so go beyond their typical capacity requirements in the case of adding new formats or whole new libraries that are being ingested and transcoded. And so many will simply use the cloud to offload their services. But they're all interested in the potential. It depends on how much they want to be reliant on the cloud and how much they'd like in-house capabilities supplemented by the cloud.
Okay. Do you see the hybrid model as one that's going to be enduring? People who encode maybe their day-to-day in the cloud and then their their day-to-day on-premise and then their extra overages in the cloud?
Yes. Yeah, I think both models will continue, and the bigger an operation is, the more they like to have some self-determination and on-premise kinds of capability, and so the cloud offers them that extra bit of capacity. But nothing about the technology or the model predicates a continuance of one or the other. If you decided later to move completely to the cloud, that's fine.
Okay. How do you see the product evolving over the next 12 months? I mean, are you set for a while now, or do you see any major differences coming up?
Well, I think the whole notion of cloud for video is going to go through a tremendous amount of innovation over the next 12, 24 months. You may have seen at NAB we announced something called VOS. Mm-hmm. And clearly we want to integrate our file capabilities with the primarily linear capabilities that we announced within VOS at NAB. And VOS is completely virtualized, can operate in a cloud, in a private or public cloud, and in the future, assuming that cloud capabilities have rich bandwidth access so that there's a real-time element so that you're not worried about extensive jitter and packet loss and those kinds of things. A far greater amount of the complete video workflow, both linear and file, can be in the cloud, and we think that's a very compelling future for the industry.
Okay. I mean, most of the dealings I've had with Harmonic have been for on-demand. How vibrant is your live product offering, and where is that going in the cloud in the short term? Sure.
Well, actually, most of our revenue today comes from the more linear side or live side of television and video, and that's vibrant on a global basis. Access to video, number of channels is exploding in the emerging markets, and in the developed markets there's a tremendous amount of interest in ultra high definition and 4K, I think the World Cup was all shot in 4K. Certainly Sony was doing a lot of 4K advertising there. And so there's a tremendous amount of new technology and new capability coming to video, and bringing together and making it seamless between live and file, I think is really the future, and our technologies based on VOS are the way to get there. When
do you see yourself offering a live cloud offering, or is that already available?
Well, so the technology, VOS, was announced at NAB, available immediately with basic playout, graphics and branding, and encoding, and that could be used in a cloud service today. And we'll be talking about a number of customers who are looking to do that going forwards. Okay.
And you mentioned HEVC. Tell me, what's the interest in HEVC? How soon do you see that in production type environments, or is it already there?
Sure. Well, if you look at Netflix's demonstration at the Consumer Electronics Show in January, their pilot 4K service, as they call it, is going to use HEVC. And will be decoded by a software client. If you go to any of the video or television shows now, you're seeing set-top boxes with HEVC. We just acquired a new LG television for our high-def theater for IBC that has HEVC decoding inside the television. So HEVC is becoming real very quickly, and we'll see, I think, fairly broad deployments starting into next year.
Okay, well, that's all I have. Peter, I appreciate you taking the time to chat today, and thanks for sharing description of your cloud offering and where you see it going in the next 6 to 12 months.
Thank you for the invitation, John. It was a pleasure chatting.
And I look forward to that demo.
Great.